It was at this moment Gigan knew he f***ed up.
So, where have I been these past few weeks? Long story short, I was sick and I didn't feel like making any videos. But I'm feeling a little better now, so hopefully we can get back on track. The figure in front of us right here is the MonsterArts Gigan from Godzilla Final Wars. And he holds a special place in my heart because Gigan is my favorite kaiju of all time, even more than Godzilla. But as a professional toy reviewer, I have to be as unbiased as possible. So let's start by saying that this thing looks really fucking good. MonsterArts strikes another home run with their detail work. There's no area on this figure that's plain, all of it is sculpted to hell and back. The painting here is also really good. Usually for MonsterArts, it's either too sloppy or too minimalistic. But here, it looks like they brought their A game for this. The only part that's kind of, it's the wings, they're just pure red, but it's not that big of a deal. However, one thing that is kind of a big deal is his stability. He's not really solid. He's actually kind of floppy, which sucks majorly. And it makes it kind of not fun to play with, and that happens. One thing you might have noticed is it's also really fucking sharp. Nowhere on this figure is safe to hold. Everywhere is coated with spikes, whether it be the knees, the elbows, the back of the knees, the head, the tail. If you have hands that function, this thing wants to punish you for it. It can and has drawn blood if you don't handle it right. But this was necessary to get the incredible look of this thing, which is super movie accurate, and the head especially looks amazing. The visor has this honeycomb pattern, compound eyes effect like a bug, which looks super cool. Another thing that's also really cool are the accessories he come with, which are quite a bit. First thing he comes with is this laser eye effect part, which, side note, every MonsterArts should come with. Godzilla. Painting and sculpting on this thing is pretty good. And it also comes with a stand to plug into. And it connects to a ball joint, which allows you to adjust the movement of this thing depending on how you have Gigan posed. He also comes with these wires that were used in the movie, but are probably his worst accessory. They have these two little pegs on the side, which are used to plug into the hook hands on the figure itself, which hopefully should be no issue to do. After you remove them, you want to get the thickest part of the peg to be at the front of the hook. And if you do that right, it should plug right in. Honestly, these things aren't all that fun to play with. They're too floppy, and while they aren't a bendy wire, they aren't exactly the strongest, and these little separate pieces like to move around a lot. And they don't come with any kind of stand either, so unless you have it tied around a different figure, they're going to be on the ground most of the time. And for his final set of accessories, he comes with these little pieces to turn him into his upgraded form, which I really don't want to do on camera, but I'll suck it up. To make this next part a little bit easier, I just say remove the shoulder pads. They're only on ball joints. If you had an issue with me not talking, fuck off. Sorry, just my voice hurts way too much. Even though not much has changed fundamentally, the look of this thing has become way cooler now. But the most obvious difference are the chainsaw hands. These things are awesome. And it's helped out by some pretty good posability. Again, like the MonsterArts Godzilla from last time, it's mostly ball joints, but it's a little more limited. His arm moving out and rotating isn't all that different, but his elbows are extremely limited. In all honesty, you're better off just using the hand ball joints as an elbow instead. It gives you more range. But one thing that has absolutely no range whatsoever is his waist. It has nothing because of the buzzsaw. It sucks major ass. At least his legs have movement. Granted, it's not all that great, but it has something at least. He does have a pretty good kick, and he can move back pretty alright. His spread is non-existent though. And his knee bend is kind of useless. And his feet have a pretty good pivot. Speaking of his feet, they're made of die-cast metal, which is really fucking cool, no pun intended. His wings can flap, and the middle piece can move up. And his tail has a crap ton of ball joints and is extremely posable, as any S8 MonsterArts figure should be. Okay, fair, posability isn't all that great, but it's good enough. I mean, these are giant monsters, they're not exactly super athletes. But my main issue with the figure is, again, the stability and also how fucking sharp he is. He hurts to hold and he's not fun to pose. And if it weren't for the die-cast metal feet, he'd be falling on his face a lot. Ah well, let's do a size comparison. Here he is next to the S8's MonsterArts Godzilla, the previous review, the Marvel Legends 3-pack Venom, and because I have nothing else, Figma Madoka Kaname. Personally, I do really love the figure, but I don't know if I'd recommend it to anyone else who isn't a massive Godzilla fan. He's kind of floppy, he hurts like a bitch to hold, and his price is what the fuck worthy. But if absolutely none of that is an issue to you, then yeah, I'd say pick him up, you probably enjoy him. Thank you all for watching this video. Hopefully we'll be able to go back to more consistent uploads and hopefully my voice will recover. I'll see you next time. Goodbye everybody.